welcome to the Combine for the week of 11/29. Am I right about that? 29, 2020.
9. And this
last State of the Union for November.
We're getting close. I mean, when did we start State of the Union? Like 3 months ago?
September. Yeah, so almost 3 months ago. So we're coming up on our 3-month anniversary. Good stuff to talk about. Greg, how was your Thanksgiving?
It was good. Thank you. Plenty to eat, plenty of leftovers, and still eating them.
It's funny. In my, I don't really like, well, not to say that. This year we kind of didn't do Thanksgiving as a family, but my sister ordered catering in to her house. And the next day she called me up with like a full turkey, 2 huge turkey legs, and all the accoutrement that they didn't eat.
Cool. So you got that?
I was like, great. I was like, perfect. I have food for the next like 4 days.
You're
awesome. Thanks, dude. Thanks, Rachel Jackson. But yeah, it was good, man. I also spent time with our friends Jean-Paul and Tiffany across the street.
Nice.
So that was good. Yeah, man. Welcome to the State of the Union. Welcome to this Sunday. Glad to have you here. I hope you guys enjoyed the best of episode so far, which is up on all streaming platforms to man. Also, we are going to talk about some stuff I saw this weekend. You know, this weekend kind of gave me some time to watch some music stuff I wouldn't necessarily get the chance to watch because our schedules with the Combine and everybody else is extremely busy. You know, it's one of those situations where, you know, I have recently become addicted to Disney Plus. And they have a lot of great stuff on there. And I'm sure a lot of listeners have it. I'm a little late to the game, probably by about a year. But I've been watching The Mandalorian. But also, with the recent album from Taylor Swift, Folklore, they produced a documentary of her actually playing Folklore live with the producers.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on.
What?
Hold on. Yo! It's loud.
Gotta love live.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, it's so good. I couldn't hear it, so good deal.
You're like, dude, I'm gonna be like, fuck. But yeah, so yeah, you're Disney Plus.
Disney Plus. I got to watch the Long Pond sessions of Taylor Swift, and everyone knows that we're pretty good on the heavy metal side, but I really wanted to share kind of the concept of what they did for this documentary.
Yeah.
She was in a situation where I don't think she was really satisfied where she was musically. Mm-hmm. And like all of us, we like different things that kind of create a better kind of cultural pot of stew musically. Mm-hmm. And what she did is super fucking brave. And I mean, it says it in the first song, The One.
Yeah.
You know, she goes, I'm saying more yes than no. And this was one of those situations where she was kind of in it, where she was a huge fan of the National, the band, who's been around since the late 90s.
Yep.
I didn't realize how many millions of spins those guys have. Like, I've been listening to their stuff too over the weekend. They're an amazing band too. But Aaron Deskin, I better get this right because the dude's fucking amazing. Hold on. National members. 1 second, because if I don't get this right, I'm gonna fucking hurt myself. No, I don't mean it like that, but
nah, I know you don't mean it like that.
Hold on.
So she went out of the comfort zone a little bit, or
yeah, where I think that you know, where you basically, you know, have the option to, you know, make yourself better. And here's the thing about that. Aaron Dessner is the guy's name. And I forget the other fellow's name that produced it as well. But Aaron Dessner, I think, did about, it's 11 or 12 songs. He did like 10 of them with her.
It's a good amount of songs.
Great amount of songs. And they had another collaborator, and it's now come out that Taylor's current boyfriend is another one of the songwriters on the album.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, he's, is what it is. But she worked with Bon Iver on one song, and which I'm not a huge fan of Bon Iver, so that one kind of got panned. But the stuff she did with Aaron Dessner is incredible, and the way they played it in that documentary is just like, holy fuck.
How do you mean?
It was just, it was so organic. Not that the record wasn't already, but also you got to look at where she's coming from in it too. It's like she starts it all. The documentary starts off, and I don't want to give too much of it away, but it starts off with her at her house in LA because she wrote this record during quarantine.
Right. So she had to dig deep in something that she...
Right. You'll look at it this way. She wrote it during lockdown, and the record came out in July.
Right.
Fast amount of time.
Yep.
Regardless, what she did is she's like, yeah, I'm recording vocals in my house for the first time.
Right.
Because she's a Nashville kid. They don't do shit in houses. They go to studios.
Right.
It's like, that's the traditional model of Nashville. You have all these great studios like Bluebird and stuff like that. And shout out to Bluebird, one of my favorite places in the world. But, it was really a thing where she didn't even tell her label that she was doing this till about 2 weeks before it was going to come out. And she thought that she was going to be in a moment where she was like, I know what I'm doing. I swear, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, they were like, yeah, we're behind you. This record, pound for pound, is that good that I would put this up as like her Sgt. Pepper's or Abbey Road, where it's like just this amazing thing. It's also the defining line in the documentary is this, and this is one thing I want to impart on our listeners. If you're not taking a chance with your music, and I'm not saying totally change your sound, or maybe you do need to change your sound. Sometimes that's the thing to do. But if you're not drastically taking the chance, and we look at your situation, Greg, right? Like with your former bandmates taking the chance, right? There was no way they were going to take the chance, so their excuse was they were going to kick you out.
Right.
Yep. To me, if you rule by fear and you rule by safety, that's a very dangerous place to be because it stunts growth.
Yep.
And what I love about the Long Pond Session documentary is she just is sitting there with a guitar, one of the most beautiful tube mics I know in the world. It's like this U47 that's just gorgeous.
Oh yeah.
And it's them in a room, very minimal drums on the whole record, but it's more percussion elements that make up the song essentially.
Right.
So it's three people in a room singing these songs, no auto tune, just live,
raw,
just live. And like on Spotify, you can hear the recorded tracks that she did for the album that came out in July. And now you can hear also the live recordings they did. I like the live recordings better. They just feel more natural. They just feel more natural. Yeah, go.
So they did a live showcase, and then they released the recordings at the same time, or
no? So what they did was they released the album first back in July.
Okay. And
then this past Friday, they released a deluxe album with the live recordings and the album.
Okay, got you. And she wasn't doing anything, that we would be pushing the other artists to do based on the fact that she could basically do whatever she wants because she's Taylor Swift, because she has that credibility.
I think it's that, but also I think there's a very simple point to being you. If you're not feeling that you're being you, writing songs, then go be you.
Yeah, agreed.
You know what I mean? Like, that's her in a nutshell. She's a girl with a guitar who sings. She's not the girl who sings White Horse or Picture to Burn, or you know what I mean? Like she does sing those songs. I mean, granted, she sings those songs. It's a body of work that she's very proud of, but this to me is like the crown jewel in her entire record collection.
Well, it sounds like she have a real producer or anything with her.
Well, I mean, Dessner and this other guy, I mean, they basically produced it with her.
They're collaborative.
Yeah, it was a collaborative situation. And it was like, you could just tell she was having fun doing it. No stadiums, none of that stuff.
just being her and just capturing what she did from the raw, natural, organic surroundings that she had, except instead of going.
I highly suggest every musician going to watch it, if you like her or not.
Yeah, dude, I love Taylor Swift. She's undeniably good. You know, I know we do a lot of metal, but those are a lot of the relationships we have, which are still good. You know, gives you good feedback and value for what we're talking about. It's good to give you an all around value. And
they're going to be certain friends of ours who are normal listeners to this,
right?
Who are going to make fun of us on Monday morning, but that's fine. I don't care. I give zero fucks given.
Not
zero
about
fucks given.
You know, the just one and perspective. Not all perspective. I know. I don't want to lose my point here, though. The point I was saying is that she was just writing and not trying to write a single, but just writing what was coming out at that time and making it the songs that they needed to be, not necessarily what they were trying to just become like a single for, like you were saying before. It's more like let's write and like great songs, let the song write itself and see what it's going to be, as opposed to really try to pigeonhole it into like, verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, and song, like
I think too, she makes the great point of when she's talking to Dessner and they're sitting around drinking wine because it's done at his studio in Hudson Valley, New York.
Can I ask you questions about this though? So, because like I want to kind of break it down. It was a documentary, right?
Yeah, it's a documentary, but it's full songs, so it's a rockumentary kind of.
It's a rockumentary. So, in it showing the process of what they're doing and her thoughts behind it.
It's the process of what they're doing for that, but she goes through every song.
Right. So that's a long. So each song is that it's an
hour and a half documentary. It's a long documentary.
Oh,
okay. It's 10 songs, 11 songs, whatever it is.
Okay,
but they really go through it. And Dessner is like very vulnerable in it at one point where he's like, I can't remember what song were they were talking about. Was it I'm Here Trying or something like that, where it's about, I could commit suicide or I could try in this relationship. Right. And he was talking about how his depression had super affected his life, and it was one of those songs. I don't think that was the song, but she dissects each song with the guys she wrote them with, and there's these very deep conversations, and it's like, and he, everybody like kind of talks their piece in it, and to me, it's one of those situations in the beginning. In one of those conversations, she talks about with Dessner that, she's like, I wanted to figure out a way when after, because she lives in LA. Yeah. So when they shut down the whole entire state, a lot of people I think felt this way, where it was like, I don't know what to do. I'm listless, what do I do? I'm stuck in my house. Yeah. Even for rich people on the hill, that was happening. Yep. But, she talks about it and she goes, she was like, I've always been a fan of the National. I've loved Bon Iver. And she goes, that's when I texted you and said, hey, are you in a place where you want to write? And they came up with 8 to 10 songs in a very short period of time to release a record in July.
Sure. I mean, they're professionals. They could.
Oh, no. I mean, they probably knock out a song a day and it would be done. You'd spend a month. I mean, that's how like the old schools, any type of writing session I've been in, that's how it goes.
Hell yeah, bro. It's the way it should be.
I mean, like, I worked with Red Theory. They were, I worked for them on a few songs like Light It Up. And
dude, that was a huge hit.
That was a huge hit. Broken Bones. I worked on with them.
By the way, right?
They were. I don't think they are anymore. Shout out to Julian and Rich.
I told you I work with Rich Love.
Yeah, Rich is a good dude. Singer. But I mean, I think that when you do that, and you're massage, you have that muscle so exercised. I worked with Jewel. She used to say that all the time. She's like, I don't do acting anymore because I can't exercise that muscle enough.
Right. That's a good indication.
But she's like, it's like songwriting. I've exercised that muscle so much that I could come back to it and it'd be fine.
There's a lot of lessons out of talking about this rockumentary, and one of them is really just setting yourself up to the point where you could just write songs pretty quickly, and the more you do it and you exercise that muscle, it just really becomes natural. And the other thing is when you have a collaboration or you write with your band, there's usually a chemistry there, and the reason why you're jamming with somebody in the first place.
Yep.
And that really carries over into being able to kind of hone down and really buckle down, and just every time you get together, just have something new that you're working on. You're always refining the other stuff that you're doing, but like go back and do those voice memos. Hold your phone up, press record that part, so next time you could go back and you can go work on it again, because there's a lot of moments that are captured when you're just jamming and you don't even realize it. But if you could start honing in on those little hooks that you play for maybe 4 bars and it's just like you're just fucking around, like stop for a second and really think about what you just played right there, because that could really be, and then have the strategy.
Or let it just, I mean, my experience as a producer and engineer, just always keep it rolling.
Keep it rolling, but I think a lot of people don't even realize what they're doing. But that's fine. But that's fine, because I mean, there's been times where I've done that with my voice memos, just case in point. Yeah.
Where I'm like, okay, well, I didn't feel really all that inspired that day. And then there's a day where I really, really don't feel inspired. And I'll go, well, let me listen to my voice memos and see what I have.
Right. So
then I'll come with something else out of that, you know?
There you go. Yeah. So it's inspiration for pushing you when you have your lulls, right?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Such an emotional roller coaster. I feel like that you explaining this, that she really captured like the journey to creating that, and like making everybody, including the record labels, know like this is what needs to be done. Just let me roll with this. And yeah. I know, I don't think you should bow down to any corporate sponsorships. By the way, I drink bubbly.
Don't bow down to any corporate sponsorships.
I don't bow down to corporate sponsors.
I don't bow down to corporate sponsors.
You have a headache? Here, take 2 of these. New print yellow. Little.
Wayne's World.
Yeah. So, yeah, the thing is that, she felt what she was feeling, and she threw it down, documented it, and it's like, that's the best content, man. Like, we talk about it all the time.
Yeah, I think when you're the most natural in putting stuff out, and I love albums like that. Like, if I look throughout my career of being a producer and being an engineer and being a music lover.
Yeah.
I love those albums that are like so organically grown.
Yeah. I think, what's the lady who recorded Tool's first?
Sonny Massey. I've met her before. She's great. She's a great example of that.
That's what I'm saying. The Rockumentary.
Me and my buddy Coleman went to see her speak at NAMM.
Nice.
3 years ago now, because NAMM's not going to happen this year. Actually, I still have it, and I got to frame it. I have a print of one of her paintings. She's also an artist too, insane artist. Nice. She was handing them out at an autograph session. She signed it for me, but she, like, I think it was an Avatar record. She recorded it in a cooling tower of an abandoned like nuclear power plant or something like that.
Really?
Yeah,
that's interesting. What's her methods behind doing something like that?
Because of the acoustics.
Okay.
It's like a natural plate reverb or a natural hall.
Sure. A nuclear power facility is usually a lot of concrete, right?
Yeah. So it was a big concrete, like, cooling tower.
Cool.
I want to say it wasn't a nuclear power plant. I think it was some other type of like situation. But the pictures that she showed at this talk she gave, literally it looked like a cooling tower from a nuclear power plant, because I don't think you really want to be inside a nuclear power plant.
Generally without some type of radiation suit. Yeah, I would.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, maybe we don't. Yeah, no. So here it is. It's like you learned something this weekend through watching, or inspired by.
Yeah.
And kind of validate what we always talk about here. And, we don't mean to beat a dead horse either, but we're trying to bring you different perspectives of this point, which is, it's endless, actually. It's like evergreen, ever changing, and you have to be on top of it. So it kind of ties in to what you're saying. If you want to talk more.
The other thing too about this record is she did it on her own dime.
Well, yeah, because she's just passionate about doing what she's doing, and she keeps doing it. But at the same time, maybe, I'm going to tell you guys that feel defeated about somebody. Taylor Swift has worked her ass off and has gotten to where 100%. She's to, and she's at a level where she can really do whatever she wants, and it will do well. Still, the point we're saying here is that she did what she wanted to do, and she didn't really let anybody stop her from doing that, because generally she, most labels like that have artists try to really be controlling or afraid what artists are going to do, especially at a time like right now where we don't know how anybody's going to perceive it. But
and to your point to that, by the way, sorry to cut you off. If you really think about it, the label made the smartest decision, because
less they have to do.
the less they have to do. And she wasn't going to be creating any content anyway until they got her back in front of writers. So she took her own initiative in this situation.
And that's her just probably not being able to just sit still. I mean, if you're not able to sit still and you have some type of talent, dude, fucking work at it. Come on now.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up? How you doing?
What's up? It's me right here. Can't sit still.
This guy right here.
Even though today was one of those days.
Oh, good.
What's up?
So,
I just watched freaking Mandalorian, and after I did some work this morning, I was like, "Yep, we're done for today."
Mandalorian, huh?
Took a nap, little things.
Very nice. It sounds like a good Sunday. I wanted to kind of
go for it.
Tie into, speaking to the artists out there and how you're probably not, Taylor Swift or Alicia Keys or anybody huge right now, but there's a way that you should be releasing your music and your content that it's going to really engage people to want to look at what you're doing. And when you become bigger, you'll be able to really kind of do what you want. But what she did, which is interesting, is just really took the initiative to start putting things on tape and rolling the camera and then just putting it together. And of course she had the money to do that, but it really doesn't take much more than your iPhone, I think. And no, I know this, your iPhone, maybe another camera, but you just take this and you film some stuff and you just put it together and you know about that song. So I'm kind of going to go into what Damian Keyes was talking about and what a lot of industry, professionals talk about now versus the old way to release a single, how you need to release a single. So generally he's saying, Mike, and this is what he's saying, 10 days of putting out 10 pictures, right? Let's make it very simple for you and really hands-on. Here's the value. 10 pictures of the different 10 songs that you have that have artwork around it. 10 pictures for the one song, whether that be whatever that may be. You're the creator. You're going to take a picture of you playing the song. You want to take a picture of something that more conceptual that has something to do with the title. Obviously, you have lyrics about that song. You have some type of plot for that song. Incorporate that in art and visual. I mean, let's tie it back to back when records were out. People get records because it's more a nostalgic thing. They have art to them and people can look through them. And I remember when we talked about this, is just having a CD and being able to look at the booklet and read the lyrics.
Yeah,
and
the liner notes.
Right, the liner notes. I mean, just make that come to life a little bit. You take what you're doing and you just put it in a form of video that is a different aspect of what your song is. And he's saying 10 pictures, one a day that's leading up to that single or that release. And then you have 10 songs. So 10 pictures for that one song. You have a single artwork for each one. You have social media banners, which are something like a banner would be your name, your font, your graphic, your title, your logo. Okay, that's on each and every one of those things. And for those pictures, that one picture that you're putting up, put it up on and drive traffic to YouTube for that one, and then do one for Facebook, and then Instagram, and so on and so forth. Each one. So you just repurpose that one picture, and you don't put every single one on there because that's just too much. Just put for each one. If you're
so what do you mean? Don't put every single one on there?
Well, you could put your link tree, right, and then you could go to our Instagram, so people know exactly the call to action, right, and follow us on Instagram. One piece, gotcha. One of the same picture, and then do a same picture with one for YouTube. And then one for Facebook. And it's the same picture. You're just putting the different ones.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot. Like, you should always do separate posts, not chain gang posts together from one format.
Well, it's good in the fact that Instagram has the ability, you can only put so much in there. So you either put the link tree, which will bring you to all the different ones. That's the best you could do with one little bit of what you can actually put in that section, because you can't put anything more. However, when you're putting out a post, you can put, go to, please follow us on our Instagram, and then one that says, please follow us subscribe on our YouTube. And that's gonna be content that's gonna last you longer, and it's going to be able to get the most out of it. So it's going to be the most targeted. You're targeting each platform, and then you're targeting with the different hashtags for that one, and then whatever meta tags and so on and so forth. But I'm not going to go ahead and how to do that exactly, but just work with me here, because new release specific images. So that goes back into what I'm saying. new release specific images, images specific to that song that you're actually releasing. And then when you do any type of press release, Mike, you can maybe talk about this a little bit more. But there's radio stations, there's college stations that you can actually contact, and you send out press kits to. Have an EPK. These days, people do not want to click into a bunch of different links. Have one link that brings you to your EPK, shows what your band is, shows what you've done. In this case, shows what you would have had maybe in 2020 because of what happened and it didn't, but also gives a link to maybe one of your live streams that actually show what you're doing right now. Because this is what he's saying. The biggest thing right now is you need to prepare going into 2021 because everybody's going to be trying to get their shit out there. And if you're not doing it and taking initiative, like you just said, with what she did is she took initiative. She's being ahead. She's getting ahead of everything. So every time, and I'm going to say this again, when you come back and live shows come back, you're already at the head of the line because you took all that initiative during a time where everybody was like, wah, wah, wah. I don't know what to do.
Woe was me.
Yeah, woe was me. And you've been putting out that content every day, no matter what it is. But he's saying when you have the songs recorded and batched out per se, and you recorded all of them, don't just say we have a whole album and to put it out there. Taylor Swift can do that because Taylor Swift is huge, But
she's also writing constantly. Like you can tell, her process is that.
Take that into account. She's writing constantly. You should be writing constantly, and that is something that should be easy to you because that's the thing you do the best, probably. You just don't know how to get it out there, and that's what we're talking about more or less. And then capturing yourself writing it, and that's what she's doing. So we're taking what she did today, we're dissecting it and breaking it down. And I'm not going to beat this over the head by the good content here is now you have somebody like Damian Keyes talking about putting that to the platforms that you have available to get your music out on. And that's it. A performance video he has, which the live stream video, that's a performance video, right? She had her live stream concert, and then she had her single that was relative to the live stream. So they recorded it as like the thing is like I don't think they streamed the performance. Well, they recorded it. Though. They recorded it live, but I mean it wasn't streamed live. But it was either way. There's the streaming live, which is like live right now, or there's like you could pre-record it and then post it, which is fine. That's this is the very same. Lyric videos, very popular. You have a lyric video out of your one single that you have a video for and that you have a live live recording of performance, then you have a lyric video. I mean, come on, that's the best way to make the best of that one song and not have people say, I can't wait till your next fucking album. No. Because that's when you know that you're really just throwing everything out there and you're just half-assing it. And if you're I say half-assing it, not,
half-assing it.
Half-assing it. Yeah, I mean, like that's what you're doing.
How else would you half-ass it?
Don't do that. I mean, exactly. But you get up to that point where you start having people be interested in what you're doing, and you're doing it on a regular basis. I mean, now you could start playing a little bit and around how you release that. But generally, it's good because think about it. How long does it take you to actually record 10 songs and to come up with the 10 songs and all the work that goes into it? Why just blow your whole load, right, before you can even give it the chance it deserves to get the recognition? Because all those different things, the lyric video, now he says an official music video. So these are all the things and validate what we talk about. A compilation prize, offer your audience or potential audience something that they get for
competition prize.
Yes. Now it could be any kind of competition. The competition can be
dude, like name my cat, I'll give you free merch. Like,
yeah, like if you guys pay attention to any of the things any of the videos I do, like what's my cat's name? You know what I mean?
You know what I always thought was like
I don't have a cat.
Cool.
I have 3 dogs.
Lucky you. They're great. But the one thing I see in this, which I don't see bands do enough of anymore, have your fans, if you have a fan base, or even if you're trying to build a fan base and someone's an artist in there, like call to arms. Like we're going to do a competition, we're going to do
Yes.
Come up with artwork for our next single, or come up with artwork for our next t-shirt design. Something, and you'll
that's exactly a better way better example than the cat.
And then give them like more access to your Patreon for a month or two or something.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like exchange the value.
There you go. I mean, guys, I'm going to tie it up with 2 more, and then basically we'll wrap it up for this weekend, and we'll bring more by next week. We're always going to have something where Mike and I had a talk of several conversations, and one of them was like, all right, we could keep talking about these things that we talk about, or we can kind of give a real outline.
Yeah, like I always felt like, like I think we're great at. I mean, we're fucking great at what we do. We wake up and we piss excellence in the morning, Greg. Don't forget that. But I piss excellence when I wake up. But I think the thing is like we would want to hear more from you guys because we know what we do as professionals in the business and how we treat our clients. And we know that advice works. The thing is like it's not everybody's plight though. And I felt like that we had to give you guys a little bit more value to how things we're going to move forward. So we just passed our 25th episode.
Yep.
And that's why we did the best of this week, because I figured it's episode 25. It would be great to show you, people who are new to the combine as well, to see what we got going on. So yeah, we're going to start really this State of the Union segment's going to get more granular as time goes on. But anyway, what was your next thing?
No, that's a good point. Definitely like I've applied these to the projects I'm in, and I find myself helping other people more than myself and becoming more of a.
Well, that's the true mark of being an educator.
Right. And so we're applying everything and we're staying on the pulse with our fingers are on the pulse. Like, I basically have these mentors that I work with and that I learn from, and I apply these techniques, and we're doing this with our clients now. And it's just a matter of like opening your mind and actually implementing it. Like I think it's really the hardest thing most people have is just actually doing something outside of something they don't know. And they're afraid that they're going to fail. And that's okay. You could fail. You have to fail because if you don't fail, you don't win. You have to win. You have to fail to win. You have to go through those. But you have to fail. You
have to fail forward. That's the story of my career.
Won't fail because we're giving you this guideline. And I'm telling you, if you guys look up Damian Keyes, Adam Ivy, the guy named Manifest, this guy from Jam Mob, these guys, they're very good at what they do. Music industry pros, these guys, there's a lot of courses out there and everybody be like, oh, I don't know which one to take, but you could take any of them and you'll learn something very valuable. They show you exactly what to do.
There's a point I want to highlight to that.
Right.
Most people won't take the time, and if you're listening to this, you're probably that guy or that gal.
Well, maybe you're not, but maybe
most people will take the time to go, take a summer spent and a winter earned, that whole thing, and not work on themselves for a weekend. That could create potential for a lifetime.
Beautifully said. And I'll add to that. And another big thing is
so my thing to the course thing, right?
Yeah.
Just real quick. Any of those you take, at least you're starting somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Might not be the right one you end with, but at least you're starting somewhere.
And that's a point too, because I was, I'm reading the book. It's this great book. It's The Laws of Success, 16 lessons. And it's by Napoleon Hill, who wrote Think and Grow Rich. Those are staple books in our personal development aspects. And they just say, like, you can try a bunch of different courses, but that one course may not fit. Like before I ended up with the course I'm with, I went through probably 10. Because it just didn't feel them. They didn't have the proprietariness of technology that I can use to be able to really gain the most out of it and use it and pay a big dividend for me. So there's things that I was looking for in my programs that I'm learning in, and it's kind of like a college course, except you have the ability to choose what you want. You just got to choose it. You may not be the right one for you the first 1, 2, 3, 4 ones, but there's going to be that one program that's going to be perfect for you. But it's really, at the end of the day, it's just listening and applying what they're doing. They tell you exactly what to do. Go to Facebook, target these groups, start a like campaign for social proof. And you want credibility, you need people to like you. Here's how to start at a very low price point and then build it. But we're talking about, and this is I guess the last other one is a production breakdown, right? A production breakdown of like your setup, how you guys perform, what you guys use. Like that's a production breakdown. And then there's the behind the scenes videos of the production videos, of the produced videos, of the live concert. So you see what they're doing there? You're taking everything you have and you're making more out of it. And the way you do that is you basically just take content of content. I mean, you're doing all this stuff. It's endless. And if you keep applying these in your calendar, one of the things is the most important. We just talked about this today too. Slack or Monday, these apps that help you work with your team in real time and be able to use that spontaneity to be able to send to Mike at a moment's whim and just get him to respond to me. I could text him, of course, but it's cool to capture that in one space and then make a point and be like, okay, this is what we're talking about on next week's State of the Union podcast. Okay, this is great. And we start planning it out in real time, like as we think of these things. So just don't let yourself those ideas go, because I know you guys have them. I know at night you're sitting there and these things go through and you don't write them down. And you're just putting, like he just said, you just take one time, these moments of time to put in the time and take initiative. It will pay a lifetime of fulfillment and hopefully, money, because at the same time, you got to make a living. And this is something we're I know you're not Taylor Swift, but Taylor Swift had to start somewhere. And, she worked with mentors and people that wanted to help her. And that's great. And you're always got to be networking no matter what.
She came up through the toughest system, Nashville.
Right. Nashville's a fucking
at age 12.
Saturated market. I mean, she has a lot of things going for her, like her looks and I mean, that's great. But here's the thing. The main thing is this: you have the ability to do a lot of things right now that you may not think you should be doing, but why shouldn't you're actually hurting yourself if you're not doing them. And that's my point here. So just, if you guys have any questions or anything, pertaining to this episode on how to release a single coming into 2021, just think about it, look into it, go to Damian Keyes, go to Adam Ivy. He's great. He gets really technical and tells you down to for free. All right. The value these guys give, literally, like how to post your Instagram photos and how to brand yourself and have some of the lifestyle shot, have some of you doing music, ask questions, and like, these are things that, can be applied as an artist to brand yourself as a story and to bring people into growing with you on your journey and wanting more. And actually they'll want to give you their money. And I mean, that's what I have to say today. I mean, I'm probably wrapping it up right now. I mean,
hearts and minds.
Exactly.
Hearts and minds.
What do we have this week on Friday?
We have an interview I know you and I absolutely enjoyed doing, which was Chef Brian Sau.
Yeah, awesome.
If you're not checking him out, go check out Not Your Typical Chef Brian Sau on Instagram. Guy comes from a very interesting background. I'm not going to ruin it for you. He literally is a celebrity chef. He beat Bobby Flay on the Taco Challenge. But he's also a musician. And if you watch his Instagram, is the great, because he wasn't kidding about him not being a gearhead, about him being a gearhead. Mm-hmm. Dude, he's got some of the nicest shit that any person could ever have as a guitar player.
I'm sure.
From Case to freaking Axe FX 3, to like, he just has the nicest shit in the world. But also an amazing human being, and just such a nice guy. Really excited to have him on here. The episode comes out Friday. Actually, Brian's going to stop by for a short bit next Sunday on the State of the Union.
Right. He's going to do
as a kind of an extra to hang out with us. So if you like the episode, you like Brian, come on by. He will be answering questions. He doesn't know that yet, but now he does. So that's it.
And, he's an interesting cat in the fact that he's a professional celebrity chef, but he loves to play music and he's done really well with blending the two. So, if you have other skills and you're doing that and that's, something you're passionate about, you can just bring it all together with who you are. And this is a good analogy of that. It's a good definition of, he's doing it. He's not doing it for money per se, but he's actually applying the strategies that we're talking about and they're working for him and he's building that. And that's where it starts.
Yeah, so, and I think too about Brian that I got when we did the interview was, just the act of service. I think he kind of, you didn't say it in that many words, but he likes educating people on things.
Yeah, well, he also likes being, he's one of the guys that's like not afraid to get his ass kicked and learn from the ground up. And like,
oh yeah,
that's the kind of That's how you have to be. You have to have a burning desire, an unrelenting determination. That's where you need to be, and it starts all here. So like I implore you guys to listen to and read audiobooks and just read a page a day, if anything, to get something out. It gets you your mind right. And I'm not talking about being positive all the time, but I'm talking about not letting yourself just your greatness go, because it's there, and you have these moments, and if you don't tap into them and capture them and be cognizant of what you can do with that, like, and then you start talking yourself out of those ideas that you think are a good idea, that's where you got to stop and draw the line automatically. And that to be able to do that, you need to have a certain type of being conscious of these thoughts, like just being able to stop them. So get out of the funk. Marty Funkhauser.
Or if you're in a funk band.
What's up, LD? How are you, LD?
If you're in a funk band, get down with it.
Yeah, right. Get down with it. It's good.
More musician jokes.
Not funny, but it's cute. So yeah, listen, Friday we come out with that episode, Brian Sow.
Hey, Greg, what do you call a drummer with a job?
I don't know. A has-been?
Pizza delivery boy.
A pizza delivery boy? That's cute. Fuck, I got some pizzas to deliver. JK.
Where is he?
Yeah, I don't know. Lucky I'm not just a drummer.
I'm kidding.
So yeah, I mean, Friday we come. You'll have that episode out, and then we have more interviews in the process. Some really good lined up,
and then Roy Mayorga is going to be the week after that.
Fuck yeah,
Sour, hell yeah. That episode's in the can as well. I wanted to hold off on that one just so it was away from the holidays, so people would put their attention on it. And Roy's been a longtime friend of mine, and he was kind enough to come on the show during his busy schedule, amazingly enough.
Mm-hmm.
Talks about a secret project that he's might be a part of that here that doesn't allude to, but it's kind of cool to know that he is excited about music always. And
based on the way he wasn't excited about music, and then when he wasn't excited about music, how he got introduced.
He goes through his whole story, and it's
really good.
An amazing process.
That's if you put in that hours of work that he put in the networking and everything, and how it comes back to him.
Well, for such a guy who's so, I hate to, be that dude to gush over him, but Roy's one of those dudes that's just, if anyone really unpacked that box musically, and I've said this before in the show, you would just be blown away by how talented that guy is. I think people, recognize him as the drummer of Soulfly and Stone Sour and Hell Yeah and Black President and, all these other bands. But like, if you really sit down with him and spend time with him, he's probably one of the most knowledgeable musicians you'll ever meet in your life.
He seems very, very knowledgeable and knows how to use the equipment he has. He just doesn't. He seems like a real practitioner, is what I'm saying.
He is a student of the game, as they say. Okay. All right, guys. That wraps it up for the State of the Union this week for 11/29/2020. We will see you on Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern with episode 127. Chef Brian Sow.
Brian Bieber.
Brian Bieber. Yeah, that's right. It was.
I'll go into that.
We won't go into that. But we'll see you guys on Friday, and have a great and safe week. And we look forward to seeing you guys. All right. Bye-bye.